Okay guys, I'm Jay, as you all know, and a little while ago I made a video on Punchline, and you should definitely go watch that. But here's the thing, when I wrote that, it was July. When I edited it, it was also July. And since then, we've gotten a bit more about Punchy, and I feel like it was a disservice on my part to not comment on it at all. While a good bit of the hyperfixation has faded, not all of it, so I thought it would be a good idea to try out this new little strategy of making videos, so maybe I can make 2 videos a month. We'll see how this goes. This is going to be a little compilation of shorts I've made over the past few weeks, so let's get into it. Punchline video part 2, here we come.
I'll never go home, don't sleep, don't eat, just do it on repeat, keep. I'm in the club, yeah, I'm 365 pipe girl.
If you've been reading the newest Gotham City Sirens run, then you'd have also noticed that Punchline has her very own energy drink, XO Punch. It involves mind control too, but don't worry about it. But just in a few things, this felt very reminiscent of the infamous Logan Paul and his Prime Energy, and it's very easy to see the parallels. We can start with the basics. It's an energy drink made by an evil influencer, but it does go a little bit deeper. For one thing, both XO and Prime have been, at one point or other, been banned from being sold in certain locations. Prime has been banned from schools in the UK and Australia, and XO was banned from being made in Gotham. And technically, Punchy herself was run out of town by Catwoman. This isn't a reflection of reality, just funny, since once again, Logan Paul has been struck by new controversy.
Gotham City Sirens' newest run has Punchline as the owner of her very own version of Prime. Not only are both Prime and XO Punch energy drinks by evil influencers, both have incited fighting in their respective universes. Here in the real world, Logan Paul's Prime Energy caused massive rushes to obtain the limited quantities in stores in the UK, urged on further by the fact it was under scrutiny from health departments for adverse effects on children. In the DC universe, XO Punch is banned from manufacture in Gotham, so Punchline's Punch leads to stores being destroyed by people trying to get their hands on it. On top of that, XO Punch is outright stated to be addictive in issue 3, just like numerous health agencies have called Prime out to be because of its major amounts of caffeine.
So, in the most recent Gotham City Sirens run, Punchline is suddenly a hot tub gaming streamer with her very own first-person shooter, which we'll get more into in later parts. And based off of her previous history as a podcaster, some may think that the gaming is all new, and this is definitely painfully obvious, and this may have been planned from the beginning. Why her design and, her whole theming? While Harley Quinn has her diamonds, Punchy has her X's and O's. While generally this means hugs and kisses or whatever, it is also some of the most iconic imagery of the PlayStation controllers, and is what sets them apart from an Xbox controller. So at least we can see what side of that debate she's on. Chat, do you remember Logan Paul's stupid-ass NFT video game? The one that he was super duper suing people about? Yeah, I've got a way to tie that back to Punchline too. You just know it. Gotham City Sirens 2K24, we've established this. Punchline has her own FPS game where it actually involves essentially unaliving real people. Very sad. And who is her main demographic? Extremely rich people. The same kind of people who can afford her trigger warning elite package are the same kind of people who, in real life, would spend tens of thousands on CryptoZoo NFTs. Both have got animals too.
Somebody stop me from making these already. Logan Paul, like the YouTuber, and Punchline, like the comic book character. If you think about it. So, Logan Paul is one of those creators that a lot of people follow for the controversy. Everyone knows about all of the stuff he gets up to, and the stuff that's not good, people stay anyways. Punchline is a lot like that. She can be a very clear criminal, and you know that her audience knows that. So, why do they follow her? Either because they love the drama, love seeing this horrible person in this element, or because they simply don't care. If you guys were on the internet back in August, you probably remember all of the controversy surrounding Mr. Beast, and while I did touch on YouTuber apologies in my long-form video about Punchline, I do feel that this absence of one is a good example to bring up. Note that he never said anything about it. He just didn't, and you know why? Because he knew that his audience would A, not care, and B, barely even know about it. And while Punchline's audience definitely knew that she was a criminal, she was very clear about it. She knew that they didn't care that she was, and that's all she really needed. Her audience was already in too deep to see past what she'd shown them, to see her as anything but righteous in what she did. Just like Jimmy. The B-Scam scandal. DC's Punchline's trigger warning. I want to call this a case of convergent evolution, since these things happened at essentially the same time, despite Gotham City Sirens having to have been written months ago. The B-Scams, where people were used as cannon fodder for entertainment. Trigger warning, where people are used as cannon fodder for entertainment. Both at the expense of the participant and nothing but the gain of the evil influencer in charge and the team of yes men that surround them. To me, it's just, wow. Was this really so predictable as something bound to happen that it was written before it actually did? Punchline video part 8. God, this one's a little bit different than the last ones. In my last few shorts with the topic, I tended to talk about how Punchline is a reflection of current topics in regards to social media, but there's one more thing I need to mention. Of the characters we see following her, those that like her, the ones that get highlighted by name are the queer ones. And it's likely the people around Cullen and Bluff are also queer, so I thought about it. And I think that in universe, it looks like she's acquired herself a queer audience. Probably only amplified by the way she talks about feeling like her love for the Joker is illegal or against the code. She reflects their struggles in herself, so she gets their attention. Last video, I talked about how Punchline was definitely acquiring herself a queer audience in universe. Now, this is more just me laughing at myself, but Trial of Punchline was either very, very queer coded or I got queer baited. Like, sorry. Two of the three MCs of this book are gay, okay? And so, seeing Punchline and Bluebird interact, even though Punchy's the straight one, I got a bit hopeful. Like, not very, but maybe at least that there would be more fics about it. My god, it's an enemies to lovers story waiting to happen. Maybe once Punchline ditches Joker a few years down the line, who knows? Maybe that homophobic slur she calls Harley is like in a reclaimed way. As my conclusion to all this Punchline nonsense, I've got a reason why there's so many Punchline apologists in the DC universe. She's hot, she's a woman, and she knows this. She dresses herself for it. She's a hot tub streamer for a reason. And I've seen enough people excusing random horrible women in news articles just because they were hot. It's not too far a stretch to assume they'd do that for someone like Punchline who knows exactly what she's doing and actively looks for it.
Okay, so since you were so kind as to watch this video instead of just watching the YouTube shorts, which I do very much appreciate since it actually gives me watch hours and can push me towards getting paid for this, I have a few extra special notes for you guys, director's cut edition and all. Namely, I find it so very interesting that Punchline is such a shallow character. And normally that just sucks, but with Alexis I fully feel this is intentional. She's not just shallow because they forgot to or didn't care to give her depth. I believe that she's shallow because of the persona she puts up so purposely nothing. Like, you don't know anything about her, and that's just the way she wants it. We almost got a chance to learn about her in the trial of Alexis K, but it's worthless. What Bluebird finds herself in the middle of is a trap, and what we're shown of people posting online is all clout chasers. And even what Kelly Ness tells us is barely anything beyond the fact that Alexis has always been a bad person. But I'm not too inclined to fully trust a backstory that started so close to when she became a supervillain. I know there's more there. I know there's more backstory, and with more backstory, I know there's more depth. I know this character has a character beyond this mask of an influencer. And goddamn, I am invested in figuring out what it is. She's not just an unreliable narrator, not telling the audience vital details. She's barely a narrator. She barely tells us anything. So when she does start to tell us things, what exactly will she tell us?
If you guys enjoyed this, then let's see how it goes. I'm not sure what my next topics are going to be. I'm not even sure if all of them are going to be in this kind of video essay format. They might be more just things I want to show off or things I'm working on or just anything I think is interesting. But if you liked this style of video, let me know by subscribing, commenting, and liking this video down below. Thank you guys. Until next time, listeners.